Earthquake Edition.
That's right.
We just survived our first earthquake as a company together.
Wrong.
We are live and alive, and now it's actually relevant because there was an earthquake.
Wrong.
This is Ari the Data Queen, joined by analyst Matt Muscardi and Hazelnut Rawlis. Are you pumped?
No, because you're already lying. I didn't feel the earthquake. It affected 2/3 of us.
Actually, just 1/3, because Matt didn't feel it. I felt it.
Well,
I
no,
didn't
but he
feel it at all.
doesn't mean he didn't experience it.
1/3 of us felt it, therefore, we all felt it. On today's weekly wrap-up, Disney's proxy fight is finally over, right?
Come on, get excited.
Right?
It is, yes.
Okay. I don't know, is it?
Come on, this is the part of the show you really got to sell it. Come on, sell it.
Tesla may or may
Yes.
not be feeling the after effects of its CEO.
May or may not. Oh,
That's what analysts say.
it's not selling anything.
And my favorite employee benefit that I've ever heard of.
All right.
Yeah,
now we're
I
selling.
like that.
People-
I'm
Yeah.
excited
People
for
will
that.
listen
What's
for
that
that
going
one.
to be?
I don't even know, but
Is that the
let's
one-
find out.
I feel like that's the one from Japan, I'm guessing.
This is such a teaser. I'm so ready for it.
Don't say anything. All right, let's start off with story of the week. Damien, why don't you tell us the stories we should be paying attention to?
I will if I get played into it.
It just played you into it, fool.
Well, I talked through it.
Oh, so you see, this is the world of Riverside. I don't hear it. You guys hear it.
Oh.
All right, fine. I'll pretend I heard it. Disney wins.
That's
You're
it.
supposed
That's
to
it.
sell
All
it.
done.
This is the part where you sell
I'm
it.
already
Damien.
tired. Disney wins.
Yay!
Annual shareholder meeting was Wednesday. Huge proxy contest, probably one of the most famous ever, and Disney wins. The official results are not out yet, but from all accounts, Bob Iger, the big winner, receiving basically every vote that wasn't controlled by Nelson Peltz. I think 94% of the vote.
Yeah.
So wait, how do we know that Disney won
Because
if the AK isn't out yet? Are these
because it's-
exit polls?
Yeah, corporations often will release unofficial results before they post the official results as an AK. They have an idea, except they have to get the nerds in to maybe.
This is gonna be
So
like
this
Hillary
election got
wins.
called
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
but
You know that they're already
certified.
calling election fraud, I'm sure, somewhere.
Well, Bill Ackman is actually.
Ackman said
Bill
this needs to be
Ackman wants the
investigated.
SEC to investigate because Disney was leaking results before
oh my
Yeah.
god,
the meeting. So, but the big story here to me is they're already starting the new successions talk. So let's talk about. I want to quickly talk about CEO succession at Disney, Bob Iger. Okay, here are the 4 candidates. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to vote on who you think it's going to be based on the current 4 candidates. Disney Entertainment co-chair Dana Walden, the only woman on the group. She worked 25 years at 21st Century Fox. She now is leading the Disney's television business, including streaming. That's the first candidate. Her other co-chair, Alan Bergman, he's been with Disney since 1996. He currently oversees Disney's movie studios.
Oh, he can't. He's way too woke.
Right?
He
Too
can't.
woke.
Yeah, there's.
Josh D'Amaro, he's the chairman of Disney Experiences, which means that he is ahead of all
parks.
the cruises, the
Yeah,
parks,
Chapek.
right?
let's do it again.
Yeah, why don't run
The
that back?
the part of the company that seems to consistently make money. And finally, ESPN chair Jimmy Pitaro.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
right.
it is.
Sounds like the chair of ESPN. So
Yeah, right.
give me a quick vote. Who's going to be the next CEO of Disney?
The woman.
The woman. Wow, it's Dana Walden, you mean. She has
Thank
a name.
you.
Um,
I can't read.
they did figure out that only one of the 4 immediate candidates is a woman.
I will say
that's
this.
nice of them. To
Bloomberg, the Wall
limit
Street
their
Journal, and Reuters are all suggesting it will be Josh D'Amaro, chair of Disney Experiences. That's their, their
Wait, are
current
you
inside
serious?
information. Current inside
They're gonna
information.
do the whole parks thing all over again? I don't understand. Are they just trying to keep the parks being the biggest moneymaker, or are they trying to actually make their entertainment
this is bigger
digital
than parks.
Disney making money?
This is actually bigger than parks. D'Amaro does not just run the parks. He also
is it?
runs hotels, cruises, consumer products. He controls more than just the parks.
Okay.
Anyway, nobody seems to care. Let's move on.
I guess
Second
I
big
just
story of
don't
the
know
week.
what Disney should be split into two. Make two companies.
Oh, that's
What?
what Blackwell's wanted
Yeah,
to do.
now you sound like Blackwell,
Oh,
which is fine.
sorry.
Sound like Blackwell.
My vote is that they bring in Reed Hastings. That's my vote. Bring in a third
Terrible
party and make it Reed Hastings.
Second
Well,
story of the
Then
week.
insist.
It's definitely not going to be Jimmy Pitaro. or
They
whatever
need
his
to
face is.
insist on Netflix-like returns anyway. So
I insist.
Second story of the week. Women's basketball is the sport of the land. It is the number one sport. A few details here. The Iowa LSU game on ESPN had bigger audiences than all but one of the 5 games in last year's NBA Finals. Bigger than the last World Series game.
Wow.
The most watched men's or women's college basketball game ever on ESPN. Only one other game this whole entire tournament for men's and women's has a bigger audience. And according to Sports Media Watch, the most viewed basketball game on ESPN since 2018.
wow.
ESPN should be thanking them.
Jimmy
for sure.
Pitaro should be the head of
Yes.
Disney.
Disney owned ESPN. The third biggest story of the week. How about this? This is perfect for us. The headline is, want to be a Fortune 500 CEO? Be a Girl Scout. 8 CEOs in the Fortune 500 started their careers as either a Daisy, a Brownie, or a Junior all Girl Scouts. Some of those women include GM's Mary Barra, Oracle's Safra Katz, General Dynamics' Phoebe Novakovic. Past CEOs who are not current CEOs include IBM's Gina Romedy, Lockheed Martin's Marilyn Houston. So if you want to be we haven't figured out how to be a female CEO, but if you want to be, start the Girl Scouts.
This headline should have been, if you want to be a Fortune 500 CEO, be a Boy Scout or a boy
True.
a boy of any kind.
Well, they should have said want to
That's
be a
what it was.
female Fortune 500 CEO.
That's
That should have been
correct.
the
This
headline.
is a bad
Well,
headline.
you know, most of these people are old. I'm willing to bet there wasn't many things girls could do back then.
Marissa
I
Meyer's
They
on this
had
list.
to be Girl Scouts.
I like
Former
that.
CEO at Yahoo. Fourth biggest story of the week is this one out of Warner Brothers Discovery. This is another nerdy one for us. 2 directors forced to step down amid an antitrust inquiry. Stephen Newhouse and Stephen Myron booted off the Warner Brothers Discovery board. We don't get a lot of drama in these board worlds, but this is a good one. A lot of media drama this week at boards, because also Paramount Global is going through a big thing where the board is taking takeover offers, and what they're saying is that all the power might rest with this independent committee, this select committee of independent directors who are supposedly will either okay or not okay a takeover. So who would have thunk at a family-controlled company that a couple of independent directors would have all the power? So lots of media board craziness going on.
First of all, they're not actually independent. And second of all, they are so not independent that they refuse to listen to an offer from Apollo Global Management that would have valued the company at $26 billion, despite the fact that its market cap is something like $17 billion right now. So like Apollo made a massive offer.
Sounds like Shari Redstone said no.
Yeah, and the independent committee of the board was like, no, we're only talking to this other one company that hasn't made us an offer that big. So
I'm just
very
excited that
independent.
all the corporate governance in the world this week is at media companies. I love it.
Yeah. What's that about?
So there's 4 stories. Disney wins, Iowa LSU, biggest thing ever. Fortune 500 CEOs are
Not
Girl
just
Scouts,
Iowa
but
LSU,
not.
women's basketball. Come on, women's basketball.
Warner Brothers Discovery director stepped down. This isn't really a competition, is it?
Well, women's basketball, I think, is still
Yes.
part of Disney Wins.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
So I'm going
you.
to go with Disney Wins.
Disney wins everything. Disney wins basketball. Disney wins succession planning of its own. Disney wins against Pelts.
I'm going to go on the record
there.
as saying that if I had to break a tie, I would have picked women's basketball. I never would have thought there'd be a day where women's basketball would be the most talked about sport in the world, in the country. It's crazy. It's incredible. It's awesome.
It's not the story of the week, but now it's more like goodliest of the week. Why is that not in goodliest?
Because we
Ari
talked
doesn't pay
about it so
attention.
much. I don't know. Here are the stories that I picked.
That wasn't that one.
Women's basketball is already really good. We don't need to talk about it. That's just good. Here are the
let's not
ones I
talk
wanted
about
to
it,
talk
yeah.
about. Elon Musk's
That'll help the sport. Let's not.
reputation is probably turning buyers off Tesla.
Probably.
Probably.
Come on, stop.
I love that. Probably.
That's a great headline.
That's why they may or may not, be buying Teslas.
Actually, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like an ISS recommendation. Like Elon Musk's reputation probably is.
Yes, that's definitely ISS. Can I say that I saw a story this week, Ari, that to me is the number one reason why the Tesla board is they're clearly not doing their job. They should all be fired immediately. There was a report that Tesla engineers are leaving Tesla to go work at SpaceX. That should be the end of the road for Elon Musk to be the CEO of Tesla. Yeah. That is really bad.
That's bad.
That's really, really bad. And the Tesla board should be ashamed of itself for okaying that.
Also, to the engineers that are leaving Tesla and going to SpaceX, you still work for the same person, right? You didn't escape anything there.
I'm talking about Tesla shareholders here. They should be upset.
Well, who knew that consumers maybe had limits? But this story came out because Q1 deliveries were down 20% from the previous quarter, and it's the first decline in 4 years. Everyone's up in arms about it. There's this Wells Fargo analyst that called Tesla a growth company with no growth. That was a couple of weeks ago. But this week, Tesla investor Ross Gerber, he said, Tesla can't sell cars due to Elon's behavior. Let's stop blaming the Houthi rebels, German environmental terrorists, a recession that never came, or interest rates, which is everything that
What about
Elon
the illegals? Elon loves blaming illegal aliens these days.
No, I thought it was the trans people that weren't buying cars.
Yeah, make your choice, yeah. Or maybe Don Lemon, former CNN anchor.
It was Don Lemon's fault.
I like this one. Why not? Then 3M's $12.5 billion settlement to address forever chemicals in drinking water receives final court approval.
Ooh, they have to pay that.
Yep, they have to pay it over 10 years.
How much of that is tax deductible?
And they had to up from $10 billion to $12.5 billion. So, got an extra $2 billion. No big deal. How is 3M still operating is beyond me.
Well,
they settled the lawsuit, I think 2 years ago for $6 billion for their
earbuds.
Yeah. Earplugs.
They're door plugs for your ears.
Right. So I have no idea how this company is still operating. And finally, this is a headline. Free taxis, education subsidies, and egg freezing. How Chinese companies are crafting next-gen benefits for mothers amid the country's baby buzz.
Wow.
What kind of mother? You mean like hens? Like chickens? What kind of egg freezing? What are we talking about here? Human eggs?
Human eggs for human mothers.
That's who. Yeah, I'm going to give my company my eggs. I'm going to give MSCI my eggs.
I don't know if we're going to get canceled here because
Henry,
I'm
here are my
excited.
eggs. Put them in the freezer.
I'm excited about Chinese companies, which you're not allowed to be in this country.
What? No, and at this show you are. I mean, we don't do anti-China here at Free Float Media.
Yeah, I agree. But I was reading an article about a panel from a Fortune Summit last week, and during the conversation, CEOs talked about benefits their companies are currently offer, right? And they had things like egg freezing stipends, childcare stipends, education benefits, which I see as normal, right?
Yep.
Then there were other like fringe benefits, still in the ballpark of things I could imagine, like taxi rides for pregnant workers.
I like it.
Birthday gifts up to $1,400 for children until the age of 5.
That's weird.
Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Don't give my kids their birthday present.
Absolutely no, wrong.
Do not do that.
A stipend.
Young
you
kids
can
don't need expensive gifts anyway. Just give them
don't
like
give your
a
kid
ball
a
of
gift.
dirt.
You can use the money to buy them a bed.
Up to $1,400.
I know, isn't that awesome?
What
Kids are
That's terrible.
expensive.
fucking
No, it's
kid are you
stupid.
getting
It's stupid.
something for?
But-
kids don't need that. Give them
Dude,
secondhand toy.
Give them some rocks. Tell them to go outside.
You know what? I know you're joking, so I'm not even going to respond.
No, actually, we're not joking.
It's not for toys
we've
only.
Had children.
You can use it for whatever you want.
All right,
birthday
here's one
party.
story you did miss that I thought you were going to cover.
I'm not
This-
done.
Wait.
Oh, she's
I'm
not
not
done.
done.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Then Joey Watt, the CEO of Yum China that operates KFC and Taco Bell, she came out and said that among all the benefits, yes, all these CEOs are women. Among all the benefits that companies offer to women, the most impactful has been allowing employees to add their parents to their health insurance plans.
Yes.
I have
These
never
parents
heard
are
of
staying
this.
old so long these days. They keep
Well, no, they're
living.
mostly watching the kids.
I was blown away
that's
by
true,
this.
too.
It's
That's true,
just
too.
something that I couldn't even have come up with on my own about such a wonderful benefit that companies can start offering.
Wow. We should
So-
celebrate communists more often, I feel like.
What a great name of a company, by the way. Yum China. That's the best name ever.
Yum. China.
Straight
All right,
to the point.
One story that you missed that I wanted to point out from the Washington Post. This is the headline: Japan's answer to seasonal allergies, a subsidized tropical escape. This is the one I thought you were going to point out. They're giving workers up to $1,300 to take basically a tropical vacation away from their allergies in Tokyo.
Deal with
Yeah.
allergies.
They're giving
Serious.
workers less than the gifts that they're giving children until the age of 5?
That's true. That's true. Those
What?
kids need gold-plated Legos, man.
Is it cherry blossom
What is
allergies?
that?
What is this?
All right, so your 3 options here are Elon Musk's reputation is
No.
probably turning
I
off
love
buyers.
that. No. Loved it.
3M's
Not good.
$12.5 billion settlement is approved.
No.
And the Chinese companies are actually giving benefits
Yes.
to their employees.
That's my vote.
All right, Damien votes for that. I don't think I have...
I just like saying Yum China.
I love those. I don't want to vote for the same thing just so I can make you make a tiebreaker and China
She loves
wins.
the Elon Musk stuff, which I
But
think
the
is
Elon
like
Musk story,
kind of a sarcastic good, I guess.
well, I chose that for one of the headliniest.
People stopped buying cars. This is great.
I
it's
chose
great,
it
but
You
you
should
know
be all
Tesla's going
about
to come
it.
back. You know he's going to come back. It's going to go crazy again.
I know it will, but I chose it for one of the headliniest just for the word probably because I just thought like who writes
ISS is
the
taking
headline?
over. It's an ISS analyst.
Does anyone have a real opinion? It's like when you have no data, like because it's like 20%. The Q1 deliveries were down 20%, and then it's probably because of Elon Musk. And it's like no, it's definitely that guy.
Right,
Nobody wants to deal with that guy. Plus, there's 4,000 competitors now who aren't insane.
Right.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
exactly.
it.
Which is pretty good, I think. Don't you think?
But I still
Well,
have to go.
we already
with-
reported that there's a new industry in bumper stickers that people are buying for their Teslas that basically separate themselves from the CEO.
yeah.
So
I
this
just
is not
wanted
a-
the car.
this is
and
not
I-
I guess they
probably.
can't. I guess they can't burn their cars.
And this is not a probably because I haven't seen the bumper sticker that says, "Yes, I drive a GM, but I don't believe in Mary Barra because she was in the Girl Scouts or something like that." That
will
doesn't
s-
exist.
They could all just turn on full self-driving and let the cars destroy themselves or kill somebody. I'm going to go with the Chinese companies too.
Nice.
That's the winner.
Yes,
I
Come on,
mean,
I've
like,
never heard of this. This is so
except for the toys. The toys one bothers me. The kids.
I'm a little upset about the 1,400 for children's
You guys are
birthdays.
just jealous.
But otherwise, that's fabulous. That is fabulous. Which we are flying through the
Flying,
show.
I love
it. It's great when Damien can't hear what we're saying.
I know. I
There's a
can't
delay.
talk. I'm
Oops.
shutting myself up.
Oh, wow. And that's it for today.
That's the wrong intro music for whatever's coming next.
Come on, bring us
As
down, Matt.
holiest of the week. I
Take
can't
away
be
our
brought
glee.
down.
Kill
All
our
right,
good mood.
let's make this horrible for everybody. First up, well, I only have 3 stories, and they're really themes. The first theme is regulators suck. Regulators,
Sometimes
you
they do.
assholes.
Sometimes they do.
Here are 3 stories just this week. First up is the Fed blocked tough global climate risk rules for Wall Street banks.
Whoa.
The Fed and the EU have been wrestling over what bank rules should look like for climate disclosure for the banks, how they finance. Effectively, banks have to stop financing so much fossil fuel if we don't all want to die. Europe obviously is pushing for pretty stringent standards, and the Fed came out and said this goes beyond the regulatory purpose. This goes beyond outside of scope for us. And the thing that goes beyond the purpose is for banks to disclose how climate change will fuck up their businesses, how it will fuck up their lending. What are you talking about? How's that outside of purpose?
So who needs to step in and have them disclose this?
Well, now
Insurance companies?
They're going to argue, and like banks in the U.S. are going to have a different regulatory regime here than they will have in Europe, and you're seeing this bifurcation of regulation because nobody can decide climate change matters enough, and capitalism should win over. I don't know, but the second regulatory one is. The SEC has just paused its climate disclosure rule amid legal challenges.
The SEC, they never suck. Why are they on this
They've
list?
put on pause their new rules, so they're waiting for the 8th Circuit Court to decide because they're being sued. But this is the worst part to me. they're being sued not by just the conservative states who don't want any of this climate change disclosure. They're being sued by all the climate activists on the other side saying they watered it down so much.
Oh, no.
So now everyone's upset, which strikes me as perfect. That's perfect regulation. No one likes it. That must be good. But no, everyone's suing
Can't please
them.
everybody.
Now they're going to take it to the Eighth Circuit. But here's what I found out about the Eighth Circuit. I went on to see like how many Trump appointees are basically going to decide this.
Where's the Eighth Circuit? Do we know?
I don't remember. I did look it up. But their last decision was about an inmate at an all-male prison who identified as a transgender woman who sued the prison officials because they stripped her and pepper sprayed her, and then walked her mostly naked in front of the other inmates. So she sued and asserted that she has the right to wear clothing that's gender identity conforming. So she should be able to wear. She shouldn't have to wear the all male clothing. She's already in an all male prison, and she also sued because they basically, violated her rights by parading her around. They sided with her, allowing the prison pushed back and said we have immunity here, but they sided with her and said this lawsuit can go on. So
that's good.
All right.
So you might be talking about woke justices deciding the SEC rule. So that might be good. But the last one really just irks me because why are we wasting our time with this? Here's the headline: Regulators force Microsoft to unbundle Teams from Office.
Does anyone use Office anymore? Why do we
Does
need
anyone
Office
use
with Google
Teams?
with Google Docs and free
What
Google
are you
Sheets?
talking about?
Everyone
We
uses
have an
Office.
Office account.
Stop. It's
As a
nobody uses it
company.
anymore. I don't know anyone who cares about Microsoft Teams. Stop it.
I gave you the login. I invited you to be part of my family.
And we use Microsoft
For
Teams when
Office.
we literally pay
We
for
have Office.
Slack. We use Slack, Ari. We don't use Teams.
Maybe we should stop paying for Slack since we
Yeah,
pay
maybe
for
you're
Office.
right. Yeah, I'm with you.
No,
Actually, we need to save the money.
I like Slack and not Teams. So number one is regulators suck. Number two is racist regulators suck.
Wait, whoa. Isn't this part of regulators sucking?
No. This is a
Different
totally
version of
different
regulator-
subset of regulatory
And how do you know the
suckage.
first group of regulators aren't racist?
Well,
What's the
I
proof?
know because the things that are happening are basically like they're stopping climate rules. So that's not
Okay,
racism.
okay.
That's
Well,
just, regulators
being dumb.
being conservative idiots. This is
Except the
straight
climate change
up.
does affect people of color more. There are many studies about that.
Okay, nuance. Let's just take it from the headline. Here's the headline: Texas is using Boeing's troubles to expand its war on DEI.
Texas is an absolute cesspool when it comes to this. This is some bad stuff going on in Texas when it comes to this stuff.
I read
they're
the
firing
ask.
so many people. Horrible.
They're subpoenaing Spirit Aerosystems, the group that was making the planes, or like the subsidiary of Boeing, or they were working with Boeing, their supplier who's making the planes. They actually are subpoenaing documents from Spirit about Boeing to find out what Boeing's doing. They're asking for things like, can you give us like how your safety procedures have changed and, what your procedures are and stuff like that. And embedded in the questions for documents are the following questions. Quote, documents that Spirit relies on to substantiate its claim that a diverse workplace improves product quality.
What?
Quote, produce all meeting minutes of Spirit's Global Diversity and Inclusion Council.
Horrible.
Meeting minutes is defined as anything memorializing discussion of those meetings held by the groups. They're effectively trying to...
Worse than the McCarthy trials.
They are actually using the Boeing issues to root out, to make any connection between diversity and safety problems. They're trying to link it any way they can. There's nothing. I mean, I went down this rabbit hole where I was reading about the Little Rock Nine, which is the group of black students who first entered an Arkansas high school after desegregation. And they were like spit on, shit thrown at them. They had the worst experience in their entire lives. The National Guard tried to block them from even entering the building, even though the Supreme Court ruled that they had the right to enter the building. Horrible stuff. And while I'm reading this, I'm thinking, This is just the same thing. This is literally the state
Matt.
apparatus trying to keep diversity out of companies.
Matt,
Is
just
it
this
different?
week, there's a report out of Texas. The University of Texas at Austin is laying off dozens of employees, up to 60 people in their DEI department. I mean, they are literally firing
Wow.
dozens of people because of Texas is just an absolute hellhole.
It's
Sorry.
insanity. So this is part of
Insanity.
but this is Ken Paxton. This is the actual state apparatus being used to root out diversity or find any reason to make diversity illegal, like discussion of.
I don't even know what any of this. What does this even mean? I mean, what is this? What,
It's bananas, is what it is. So racist regulators is your second option.
okay, can I vote now?
No, because there's a third option.
Oh.
And that is racist misogynists with money.
Well, you mean Elon Musk? You mean Nelson Peltz? You mean
the headlines
who else?
are
Ackman going after Harvard president again.
Spoilers.
These talk for themselves. Elon Musk backs Nelson Peltz in Disney proxy fight.
Oh.
His track record is excellent.
Yeah,
Which,
I saw
by the
that.
way,
Again,
not.
where's the proof of that?
Not excellent.
Why are we
Excellent.
saying this stuff?
The data shows that it's not excellent, but I love saying it because I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
I can just say stuff. Billionaire Bill Ackman accuses Walt Disney Company of leaking shareholder votes amidst Nelson Peltz proxy.
Matt,
Ackman went on a tirade about this.
Can I say, Matt, the one thing that we absolutely got spot on that nobody else is reporting is that when we did the Disney and our proxy content show, we wondered out loud,
Yeah.
is this like a veiled attempt at is this a MAGA overthrow of Disney, right? Because one of the things that struck us was this restore the magic nonsense.
Restore the
right?
magic sounds a lot like make America great.
And since
Again.
then, the biggest MAGA-y types, the Bill Ackmans, the Elon Musk, they've all weirdly come out not only supporting Nelson Peltz for no goddamn reason, but threatening to sue and threatening that there's like steal the vote going, all the trappings
Steal the vote.
of the racist, misogynistic MAGA that we wondered about. We're the only ones, Matt, that picked up on this.
And then Damien pulled last night that Jay Rasulo, who is on the board of iHeartRadio, iHeartRadio has been iHeartMedia rather, which is a radio company, has been a Republican donor and might be illegally have an illegal deal with where Ted Cruz is making money off of their.
So Ted Cruz hosts a show on iHeartMedia, and he tells the world that he's doing it for free. He's not taking any money. But what iHeartMedia is doing is funneling that salary directly to conservative PACs. So it's absolutely illegal. Absolutely illegal.
So, and that's where Jay Rasulo's on the board. So
Jay Rasulo, a board member at iHeartMedia, which doesn't do media, they just do radio. You're right, just radio.
And then to just top it off, to make it as assholey as possible, there's this headline: Nelson Peltz lost the Disney fight, but he did clear a cool $300 million.
Oh,
because he bought the shares. In fact, he bought some shares. He borrowed most from Ike Perlmutter. 80% of the shares he borrowed, and it blows my mind that we even talk about
Ike made the money. So Perlmutter made the money, or
matters at all? Like he borrowed his buddy's shares. Like there's no more white male privilegey thing you can do than be like, hey, can I just borrow like
let me see those shares real quick.
Yeah, let me see. I would borrow 30 million shares.
I'll be right back. Watch this.
But Matt, does this mean that he actually only made 20% of that $300 million?
No, Tryon bought their own shares, and they're going to clear $300 million on their investment despite losing. So not only did you rake the company through the coals, say things like, do we need a Marvel with an all-female cast, or why do we have to have an all-black cast? Talking about
why do we need Caitlin Clark? I don't even know why we need her at all. We already have LeBron James.
I mean, it was Peltz was talking about one of the biggest grossing movies of all time, but why do we need a black cast? Like, why do we need that?
Well, Matt, I will agree that I will say this though: the dude does not need any more money, and yes, he did make a big chunk of change here, but this one hurt. This is an ego. This is a slap in the face because he really got beat pretty badly.
Damn, I wish I could win $300 million and then feel like I lost.
And lose, yeah.
So those are your three options. You got regulators suck, you got racist regulators suck, and you got racist misogynists with money suck.
This one's pretty easy for me.
Oh yeah, you go first.
I can't believe what's going on in Texas right now.
Oh yeah,
I actually
where I
don't.
want to go.
understand.
Yeah,
So-
Ari, I like the racist misogynists that Matt pointed out are all the people that we have been complaining about regularly on this show. So I don't know if
Right.
that's like new.
But it's all like coming
New-
together in
this
a
isn't
different way.
newliest of the week. This is just another
Yeah.
asshole of the
It's
week.
just
More assholes.
an event that's happened, like everything that's happened with Boeing being used
Yeah, no, Ari's
like
right.
this
I
way.
mean,
It's just I don't-
the headline alone, Texas is using Boeing's troubles to expand its war on DEI.
Right.
That headline alone is chilling. I
They
find
know
it,
that what DEI stands for, right? It's
it's chilling. This is chilling.
Just put in, like, instead of saying DEI, I think the media should be required to say black people.
Black
like,
people.
Just replace DEI
Yeah.
with blacks and gays, like, and be done with it. Stop pretending like you're not
I
just
think-
having a war against anybody who's not a white male.
But this is really, I think, really a war on black people. That's what it really is feeling like more and more and more. It's because it's usually the person they go after or the example they're using. Or Elon Musk was saying that, wasn't he saying that black pilots are dumber than white pilots? It's usually black people they're pointing their fingers at. This is terrible. This is just horrible. I mean, that's my vote too, Ari.
Oh, so we got a sweep. Racist
Lots of sweeps this
regulators
week.
suck
Lots of
this
sweeps this
week.
Wait, maybe we shouldn't end with assholes because you always bring us down, man.
Well, headliniest
well,
is
we
fun.
have headlines.
Let's
Okay,
do that
you're right,
instead.
I liked my one I picked.
Mine's depressing though.
I picked two, but I really only have one. 'cause-
All right,
Yeah.
why don't you start since
Pick
you have
one.
multiples?
The one that I like is the accountant shortage is so bad that it's delaying key reports at companies like Tupperware.
Tupperware that's going out of business.
I love the idea that a key
they don't have an
report
accountant.
at a company like Tupperware even exists. Like the market
Yeah.
cap of Tupperware is $57 million. Its share price is $1.24.
Oh, Tupperware.
Like,
Wait, what about
is the
Jesse?
key report?
What about Jessie the Money Whisperer? Instead of her, like, she's always gallivanting across the globe. Why doesn't she go work at Tupperware? She's
Where is Tupperware located?
Tupperware's in Orlando, Florida, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, she
maybe
can
that's
move.
why.
She can move.
Do you have another
that's-
one?
I can read the other one. The
All
other
right.
one I picked was billionaire hedge fund boss Steve Cohen says a 4-day work week is coming, and it's part of why he made a big investment in golf.
That's a
Oh,
good
stop.
one.
Like, I
No,
love
it's
the
not.
idea that
Matt,
he thinks
that-
that, like, what I'm
That has
going to
nothing to do with his investment in golf. Nothing to do with it.
That's what he said. I
know, he's a liar.
I
Definitely.
love the idea that what a billionaire thinks everyone's going to do with a day off is go fucking golfing. You know what I'm going to do with a day? If I had a 4-day work week,
Get
I
another
have
job.
to clean the house. I have to
Yeah.
fucking like grocery shop, do the laundry. There's
Or
so
probably drive
much
for
to
Uber
do.
Eats. Yeah.
I mean, it's like bananas that a billionaire is so egotistical and so out of touch that he thinks I'm going to spend my fucking days golfing. Like that's.
By the
what
way,
I'm gonna
Steve
do?
Cohen. By the way, Steve Cohen. That is absolutely not the reason why you're investing in golf, and everyone knows it. I mean, you were going to invest in golf no matter what happened.
Yeah.
All right, here's mine. Inmates in New York are suing to be allowed to see the solar eclipse.
Oh, I do like
Oh.
that.
That's
I like-
kind of
yeah.
that's dystopic. That's
I
all- yeah.
believe it's six plaintiffs, and they are the reason for their suit is
6 nerds.
on religious grounds, and they are all
Oh.
and there's like
Religious
there's,
grounds.
There's
Why?
a
Tell me.
Christian, there's Muslim, there's an atheist. Like it is all
An atheist?
it's quite diverse.
What religious
Yeah.
grounds?
It is
Yeah, what are the
that
grounds?
For an atheist.
Sun Ra? Is this a
guys,
Sun Ra
this
thing?
is headliningist, okay?
That's
But I thought that was great because as soon as I saw
is
religious
weird.
grounds, I'm like, that's weird. But then I saw there was all these different things, including an atheist. I'm
Oh,
like, this
man.
is wonderful.
They want to do. The atheist wants to do ritual sacrifice. And
But
I
you
can
know
say
that
that
the-
because I'm an atheist.
But you know that the horrible sadistic prison warden is going to let them do it, but not give them the glasses.
And then they're going to get sued for having burnt eyes.
Sue for blindness. Yeah. My headline, speaking of dystopia, Meta's AI refuses to show Asian men with white women. So no matter how many times they were
So
prompting
strange.
Meta's AI, they would not show a relationship, like a loving relationship between a Asian man and a white woman. It would come back like every time with 2 Asian people. They,
Really?
it
The
couldn't,
AI
it
is like,
couldn't figure. And
does
this is
not
why.
compute. Does not compute.
And
White men,
this-
Asian women, sure. Other way around, no.
And let's not forget that Mark Zuckerberg is married. A white man is married to an Asian woman. So and that combination came up okay, but not
Right.
the reverse. This is why I scream about this regularly. Is because I don't want these people writing the code that is basically going to control our future. It just makes me crazy.
Look, I'm a big fan of whoever was sitting there writing as many ways as possible. Just please show me an Asian man with a white woman.
Why is that hard to depict? How is that hard to depict?
Can you replace in a photograph a man and a woman with an Asian man and a white woman? Just replace it.
It's so specific. It's such a specific, easy ask. I can't think. If I was the AI being asked this, I'd be like, phew, this is so easy. Like, I could do that request in a second.
All right, let's vote for headliniest. And we'll only count my first headline, not my second one. Although I think you like the golf one better.
I love the golf one.
I just think a key report from Tupperware. What's a key report exactly?
We suck.
All the companies have their key reports. They're allowed to have it too. I'm going to go with Meta though. I just can't believe that the AI couldn't facilitate that. Come on.
I'm going to go.
It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah, it is so easy.
You know what? I'm also.
Maybe it was user error.
How many combinations of people are there? I mean, how many races and genders are we talking about here?
I like to think that it tried to sneak in like a half Asian guy and like combinations and hope you didn't notice.
Every permutation should just be loaded automatically.
I'm gonna go with that one too because that's
fine,
fantastic.
I don't even care.
Fabulous.
I'll just call it clean sweep. Yeah.
All right, who won the week?
Yeah, baby.
I have an update for who won the week.
Go ahead.
New York prison will let inmates go outdoors to view eclipse after a lawsuit.
It's cheating. Is that true? The story's
true.
updated?
Yeah.
Literally that happened
10 hours
fast.
ago.
Wow.
Oh, because of the earthquake, they probably got concerned. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was God talking.
Well, if your who won the week is Meta's AI figured out how to put an Asian man with a white woman, then that would be great.
Here's my winner. My winner is Blackwell's, because Blackwell somehow was able to pretend that they won. They announced basically a victory because despite the fact that nobody even came close to supporting their candidates, they came out claiming victory because Nelson Peltz was not appointed to the board. I don't understand you, Blackwell. I don't really know what's going on.
too.
What a weird activist suit, which was
it's a weird win. Right?
It was we back Disney, also R3 people, but we're anti-Peltz. So Disney and Peltz came out that way, and they're like, "Good, we won."
Yes. I mean, really, but Blackwell's how they really won too is that they generated maybe 5,000 AI images to support its case.
OpenAI is very thankful for your bank account that created all those images on DALL-E. My winner is Mel Lagomasino.
Yes, I want to see the final vote though. I want to see.
I don't care what the final vote is because she was elected as a director. And 3 months from now, literally no one will remember who she is. And she can just keep cashing those crony Disney checks. I mean, like, she's like highly interconnected. You should have voted her out like 5 years ago. You didn't vote her out then. Peltz made a big thing out of her, and she's still there.
Right,
she's the big winner.
She survived.
She's going to walk off. She's the longest tenured director.
What about Michael Froman? He got targeted too.
Let's just skip to my prediction then.
Okay. Really? You have a Michael Froman prediction?
Michael Froman is named the next CEO of Disney.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Just so people know, Michael Froman is the second targeted director by Nelson Peltz. He targeted 2 directors.
Yes, and Michael Froman is the least...
Who is he again?
He's arguably the least qualified person on the board. He's like the head of the Council on Foreign Relations. That's what he does.
He's perfect then.
He has no business experience. He's an ex-government guy.
That's a weird prediction.
In a group that doesn't actually do any government contracting. So, like, I don't know what his upside is, except that maybe he
went to Princeton.
I think he's an introducer. I think he knows a lot of people. He's like well connected. So, but I have no idea. All I know is that he's the next CEO of Disney.
Yeah, right.
Well, I gotta say, he went to Princeton, Oxford, and Harvard. So this guy.
There's a connections thing. He's well connected. I predict that Elon's gonna fire Tom Zhu.
Or Zhu.
Why?
The number 2 executive at Tesla.
Why?
Because Tesla's taking a lot of heat, and he's not going to. The board's not going to fire him. He's not going to go away. He's going to try to blame it on somebody.
I like this, Ari, because that was one of my predictions long ago. That was a successor to Elon Musk. So now we have a battle in predictions.
I have a follow-up.
And I feel like Tom might get some funny ideas that, like, oh, maybe this is my time. Also, his title, I believe, is VP of. Well, he's in charge of deliveries, and what's
VP of
in all the
suck.
headlines? Deliveries went down.
Oh,
I have a sub. I'm going to piggyback off of that with the second prediction, which is that
allowed.
SpaceX announces the hiring of Tom Zhu. That's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going to.
Interesting.
False.
say.
My prediction is that the next CEO of Disney will not be ESPN chair Jimmy Pitaro.
Oh, that's an
Although you guys are right.
prediction.
That's already
But
what
you guys
I
are
said.
right though with this Caitlin Clark bounce. Who knows? But I just gotta figure the way that betting is taking over sports. I think Disney's gonna get rid of ESPN eventually. It's a little weird, all this betting in sports.
It's weird.
A little weird.
It's weird, but they're not going away. That's all we've got. You're welcome for your shortest Friday show, your Friday wrap in history. Thanks to the fact that we spent all week talking about Disney.
No, I shut up too. I tried to shut up.
That's true. It helps. That's Hazelnut Rallis and Ari the Data Queen. I'm your analyst, so Matt Mascari. We are Free Float. We'll be back not next week. Damien might do a show or two on his own. I don't know. You two might do a Friday
Well,
show.
Ari's around. If Ari's around.
Maybe you guys will do a show. Ari's
We're
not
all
around for
eclipse
half the week.
hunting.
We're
all
out of the
hunting.
eclipse. My kids are on April break. We'll be back sometime in the not so distant future, so keep checking. Until then, goodbye.